Hello everybody, welcome to the capital of the saffron here in the south of Khorasan, Torbat. Here the biggest center for the saffron. Each, the saffron production annually is 500 tons in Iran, and near of the 90% of the saffron production in Iran related to this region. This is the south of the Khorasan. This is beautiful. Usually at the end of the October, the distance between the end of October to beginning of the November, the time of harvesting the saffron, all the world in the northern hemisphere in this time faced with the flowering. Now we are in Iran, not one of the biggest saffron farm. This is the biggest saffron farm region. Now the workers from the 3 a.m. some of them the 2:30 a.m. started with the harvesting of the saffron because we should prevent of the sunlight, as you can see. And now near the 6 a.m. 6:30 a.m. and they should be 2 hours later, 30 minutes later should be finished the harvesting, shouldn't be faced with the sunlight. And now why saffron is so expensive? 90% of the price of the saffron related to the worker, labor force, and the worker cost. They started in the saffron production for the harvesting. Now the worker tries before the opening the flowers harvest the saffron. All flower, the best situation of the harvesting of the saffron is exactly like this. And when the flower, this is completely closed. This is the best. When the flower like a bloom completely closed, the best situation of the harvesting of the saffron. We shouldn't allow the opening the flowers because these act like the cover for the stigma, like the cover, and prevent with the temperature fluctuation, the sunlight. And this, when we allow the opening the flower, the quality and the quantity of saffron will be decreased. Now, Mr. Periban, thank you for inviting us. We want to show you some ratio about the harvesting the saffron. What time? Usually takes time. The time of the flowering. Usually the time of the flowering is the middle of the autumn. Now I want to show you one small harvest. Like this. This is the harvesting of the saffron. This is beautiful. This is the fresh flower. Near the 130,000 flower is equal 1 kilogram dry saffron. We say to this fresh flower, and the 130,000 flower, 130,000 fresh flower is equal with the 1 kilogram dry saffron in the market you purchase for using the saffron. Near each 70 kilogram fresh flower is equal with the 1 kilogram dry saffron. I told you about why saffron is so expensive related to the labor force. Each worker, when they all full of flower, when we have the full of the flower, workers can easily harvest the saffron. Full of the work like this. Here the sunlight, I will show you. When we have the full flower, the workers can easily harvest. But for example, if we have some of the flower here takes time. When we have the full flower, harvesting it easily, and for per worker usually takes time near the per day. With the 8 hours worker is able to harvest even 40 kilogram fresh flower. But if the saffron is not full of the flower, the farm is not full of the flower, one flower here, and the worker should find the place for flowering, hardly in the one day can harvest the 2 kilogram, 1 kilogram or 2 kilogram fresh flower. Therefore, in the growing saffron indoors, when we have the full density, only in the boxes, the labor force will decrease the labor force near the 90%, 85%. But in the land, there are some spread in the difference, even only in the one surface. This is the should be bent harvest the saffron and a little hard, but in the shelf they can easily harvest. This is one reason for the saffron. But anyway, this is the labor force is very important. Per worker is able, when we have the full flower, per worker is able harvest the fresh flower, even the 40 kilogram fresh flower, if full flower. If the full flower, if in the separate, hardly 2 kilogram fresh flower per day. This is the difference, 38 kilogram. When we have the full flower, when we don't have full flower. They harvest. This is about the saffron, and we have the leaves. Sometimes it's much better, sometimes that we have the flowers without the leaves, the workers can easily. And sometimes here we have the leaves and we should take care. Now I want to, for example, this one, we want to harvest this. The worker harvest like this. This is the petal. This is the petal. The worker immediately, we have the two process, harvesting and separating the red part from the petal part. After harvesting, the worker should separate exactly this part. Exactly this part. Only red part we should with the scalpel we should separate. And now we have two parts. Red part. Here we have the windy weather. This is the red part. After the separating, we should dry in the 45 centigrade during 2 hours. Now this is exactly they give us in the market. This is red part, and also should be dry. And now this is the stamen, petals, and these are usually taken out. But some pharmaceutical industry, even they purchase this part of. You should work in the research. Now this is exactly in the saffron. Usually per kilogram, 1 kilogram fresh flowers give you between the 15 to 20 grams dry saffron. Flowering time takes between the 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the maximum of harvesting the saffron. They harvested, and the same day we should dry the saffron. We shouldn't have the gap between the harvesting the saffron and the drying. Immediately they should harvest. This is the 1 hectare. For example, if we have the 1 hectare of the saffron farm, usually we can cultivate near 10,000 kilogram saffron bulbs. 10,000 kilogram saffron bulbs for 1 hectare. Even in the growing saffron indoors, in 100 square meters, 100 meters, we can easily put near 5 or 6,000 kilogram saffron bulbs. Is equal 100 meters is equal 5,000 meters cultivation saffron outside. This is the bulbs. This is the saffron farm. You can see the leaves, because in the saffron, growing saffron indoors, we don't have any leaves. This is the leaves of the saffron. We don't have, but here in the outside, because they are faced with the rainy weather in the autumn, this is the irrigation. When they face, leaves will appear. The leaves will appear is a little hard. For example, the harvesting is a little hard. It is better we don't have any leaves, and the flowers easily harvest. These flowers tomorrow, another flowers will appear. This is the one tube, and in the one tube we can harvest near the 6 flowers. So one sprout, first sprout, 2 sprout, 3 sprout, and 5 sprout. One bulbs usually have the, if you see, میتونم برداشت کنم یکی از اینا. You can see, I want to show you. I want to show you the bulbs. This is the 1 sprout, 2 sprout, each sprout each bulbs usually gives you near even the 6 sprout, 6 main sprout. Now I want to show you the whole face of the saffron. This usually takes off the length of the sprout even reach to the 15 centimeters. Why? 1, 5. How many? So strong. Okay. Stop now. Hello. Now this is the saffron. I want to show you what happens. These are the bulbs, leaves. This is the corm and the flower leaves. The time of the flowering in the growing saffron indoors, in the environment control, we don't have any roots, any leaves, only bulbs, sprout, and flower. Now you can see this is the beautiful flower of the saffron. This is usually takes near 15 centimeters. 15 centimeters. This is the flower tube, or this is the sprout, and inside flower tube. Near these are 3 or 4 bulbs. Each bulbs 2 sprout, and each sprout even 6 flower in the 7 flower, depending on the strength of your sprout. You can harvest of the sprout. This is another shape of this beautiful saffron farm. I want to show you how much is beautiful this saffron farm. What is the best climate for the saffron farm? The saffron farm, the best climate that experience on the day the temperature between the 14 to 19 centigrade, and the night 7, 8, 9 centigrade. The difference 8 or 9 centigrade difference temperature is the ideal for the saffron. And the region, they don't have experienced rainy weather in the summer. The majority of the Iran like this, the Turkey, the Greece, China, some region in India, Morocco, Algeria, these region, and Italy and Spain. This region exactly not as much as Iran, but near the Iran. Because due to this reason, they are growing saffron outdoors in the Netherlands, Spain, Italy, Greece, and Afghanistan also. These countries that experience this country also the origin of the bulbs, the company that they sell the saffron bulbs for the growing saffron indoors, we should provide from this country. Because for example, the regions that we have in the summer we have too much rain, like some region in the Asia, like the Thailand, the Philippines, and the Germany, that we have the rainy weather in the summer. Is very hard the growing saffron. When the growing, we are not able to growing saffron outdoors. That is very clear. We are not able to produce the saffron bulbs. The best country that has a strong bulbs, they had a strong climate for the growing saffron indoors. Now, the best season for the cultivation of the bulbs inside the soil is because in the northern hemisphere, usually in the June, between the June to August, is the cultivating of the saffron. The harvesting, the season of the flowering between the October or November, from the October 20 to November 15, this time of the flowering. 3 months of the winter in the November, December, January, and the February, the time of the propagation of the bulbs. And again repeat this cycle, and the June and the July, August, the bulb doesn't have any activity, and again we can take them out the bulb from the soil, and again we repeat cultivate on the bulbs. Now this is the flower. This is a big flower. I told you, for example, this a little late. When you harvest late the flowers, all flowers, the petal will be open. That is not suitable, because the quality of the stigma face with the windy weather, face with the temperature, high temperature, the humidity, and in the components, the kerosene that related to the color, picrokerosene, related to the taste, and the saffronal related to the smells will be decreased. It's very important. The best time of the harvesting of the saffron, when the flowers like the bloom completely closed like this. This is the best time for the harvesting of the flowers, when completely closed. We harvest. This is late, this is on time. This has a high quality of the seed. But when we have the open, it started to the evaporation, and the quality will be decreased. This is the some of the workers in the outside continuously shoot the weeding, and now leaves, petal. This is the flowering tube, a sprout, petal, a stamen, a stigma, red part, and the petal, and the leaves.